Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. So today I'm going to do things a little bit different. I'm going to start this video off with a poll. If you live in the state of California and you support the Second Amendment, I want you to leave a comment and tell me if there was one thing that you would like to see overturned first, what would it be? You can go ahead and pause it right here, leave your comment and come back. But I'm going to say a majority of the comments down below are going to say the California handgun roster. That is the one thing that I think most people want to see overturned and basically wiped off the map to begin with, because it is a massive infringement. Well, what if I told you that might now actually be happening? So let's get to it. Hey, I want to thank everybody very much for watching these videos. Trust me, I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. It's free. It only takes a second, but it helps me out quite a bit. And if you want to support this channel, support the main sponsor of this channel, which is the USCCA. The USCCA is 100% risk-free, but with your membership, you get things like self-defense liability insurance, which is, trust me, the best peace of mind that you could ever have in your wallet. You get the magazine, you get online education and training, and they help you prepare for a self-defense incident should it actually come up. So with that said, let's go ahead and get to the video. Now, I was going to start this video by explaining the roster and what it is and what it does and, some of the updates that have been made to the roster and so forth, but I don't think that's really all that necessary now that I think about it. I think that most people understand, if you live in California, what the roster is and what it does. Because if you've ever been into a shop and you notice that, hey, you can only get a Gen 3, but you were watching a bunch of YouTube videos and these guys have Gen 5s. You ask the guy behind the counter, hey, can I get one of those Gen 5s? And they say no. You're probably going to ask why, and they're going to explain the roster to you. So I think that most people in that state know what the roster is. It is a massive pain, it is a massive infringement, and it limits what people in California can get for absolutely ridiculous reasons. I mean, there's really no difference between the models that are out there that exist, that are new, and, well, maybe even more safe than California would deem safe. There's really nothing different between those and what's on the roster, other than the fact that this is a list that keeps you within a certain margin of something that's okay or not in order to defend yourself. It's just California's way of limiting your access. That's pretty much what it is. In a nutshell, I don't think we need to go further into it than that. Now, this all revolves, again, around the NYSRPA V Bruen case that the Supreme Court just decided. Now, that case, which to me is probably one of the most consequential cases that we've seen for our 2A rights in my lifetime. I mean, Heller was a very big one, absolutely. But to me, this one has more ramifications and implications on things across the country than even that did, because really what it does is it changed the way that the lower courts is even able to look at our rights and how they can apply things to our rights to make their judgments. So really, when we've had a problem on the circuit court level, it's because of how they look at things in context with our rights. The Supreme Court said, no, look, you guys can't do that anymore. Okay, you can't use these two-step approaches. You can't use government interest in order to come up with your decision. You have to look at text and history and the Constitution. That's pretty much all that it boils down to. Anything more than that is basically the wrong decision. I mean, I'm trying to, basically break this down in a way that it's easiest to understand, but that's basically what the Supreme Court told the lower courts. You have to look at this as text and history and not these two-steps approach that look at, political interest and stuff. That's not the way to go. So basically everything that was ruled on that could be an infringement in just about any state across this country, right, can now be re-entered into the courts because the original two-step process that was used is null and void. And that comes down to the roster. The roster falls in that same case. So that there's now going to be a lawsuit that was originally thrown out, which is, I believe, Rena V. And that's a case now that can go forward because the previous decision that the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals made on another case that involved the handgun roster is basically null and void because they use the two-step process. So now this new case can go forward, which also involves any new updates to the law or to the roster or to things that affect the roster. This is a more all-encompassing case than the original one. So that can now go before the Ninth Circuit. And the Ninth Circuit can hear this new case based off of the new rules that they received from the Supreme Court, giving this case a huge chance for victory. That means that this case has a great chance of winning if they just look at what the Supreme Court said, which is history and tradition. They can no longer consider state interest or use the two-prong approach or anything like that. They have to use history and tradition when they come up with their decision. So the roster looks like it's going to be going back to the Ninth Circuit in a different case than original. So back to the Ninth Circuit for review again under these new rules, which means the handgun roster might get overturned. And I say might, but I'm actually pretty excited about it. Just like a lot of other infringements in the state of California or New Jersey or Illinois or Hawaii or New York, you know, or any of these other states that have these ridiculous restrictions and the lower court said that they're okay or they're safe or they're constitutional based off of the wrong approach. So for those people out there that, you know, cannot stand the roster, right? And that's the one thing that they would choose to be overturned. It looks like your chance is finally here. So the FPC is actually leading this one in Rena V. They're leading this one. They've done a great job in the past. Their lawyers are absolutely outstanding. They argue well. They get their cases. They're prepared when they go there. They speak really good and eloquently. So, you know, I actually think that there is a good chance that the roster gets overturned. And I'm really excited to see this move forward. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen in the meantime, but still, I think there's a great chance for this to move forward. So we're going to keep an eye on Rena V. and hopefully the roster gets overturned, just like everything else should be in California and elsewhere. So again, I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe. You guys have a great day.